everyone, it's Kate Girl here today to make another YouTube video. So hi, it's me again. Today I'm with my hamster. Her name is Paisley, and I just realized the top isn't on. This is Paisley, and I thought I'd introduce her to you guys today. My cat's meowing. But yeah, this is Paisley. She is my female Syrian hamster. She's black and white, in case you can't tell. I have had Paisley, well, okay. I'm gonna tell you about like her story, a little bit about her, what she's like, her setup, yeah, that whole thing. Sorry, she's like on my back now, and I don't know why. So yeah, anyways, let's get right into it. I got Paisley in December of 2018, so it was this past Christmas. It was a little bit before Christmas though. I can't remember the exact date, and I can't find, and I cannot find the exact date, but pretty much my whole entire school knows me as like the pet girl. They know me that I really like pets, that I'm really into guinea pigs. So yeah, people know me for that. Sorry if I'm like slowly talking. I'm getting distracted by her. The guinea pigs are making noise. My cats are surrounding me, not because they want her, but they want attention. So she's gonna fall. Let me try to get her. Okay. So pretty much I had gotten a message on the Snapchat from a girl who isn't in my school. She's like, does like some sort of like cyber online thing, and so she was like, hi, do you want a hamster? And a little bit of background, my brother had a hamster, so I was knowledgeable on them, and I actually had been watching a lot of care videos for fun around that time, and I had been talking to it was funny, I was like talking to my brother, I was like, I really want a hamster, but I'm not gonna get one now, I'll get one later. And then my brother's hamster passed away, so we had an extra cage, and then about 3 weeks later I got that message, and I was like, oh, well, we have an extra cage. And she was like, I know you really like animals, do you want him, is what she said he was, and his name was Bucky. And I was like, tell me more about him first, because I was like, well, I don't really know if I can do this, let me see pictures, blah blah blah. She just fell. Ooh. Paisley. Make everything such a struggle. And she sent me some pictures. Paisley looked a lot smaller in the picture, and I immediately knew that the cage was crazy small. And, you know, I casually said, you know, his cage is kind of small, and yeah, sure, I'll take him. And we were trying to figure out a time and all that, and then the morning came where I was supposed to get her, and I get a text from this girl, and she goes, I won't be there, but my mom will be. And I was like, that's kind of awkward that I'm gonna have to take your hamster from your mom. And the other funny part was that she wanted $40 for the cage. She was like, if you want the cage, you can have it. I was like, I have a cage, I don't want to buy a cage. And so I went in. Her mom was lovely. This girl's also very sweet. The girl just wasn't, you know, it's not her fault, and I'll explain that in a minute. So I went in, and her mom was like, oh, hi, blah, 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 yeah, my daughter was given this hamster randomly, so I'm guessing around, like, Thanksgiving. I don't even know when. Maybe for her birthday, I don't know. I wasn't aware of when she got, oh, Paisley. She's, like, so wild. I might have to put her back. She's, like, behind my back now. Anyways, so she goes, my daughter was given this hamster out of nowhere, like, well, not out, she didn't say that, she's like, she was given this hamster, and, you know, blah, 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 and I was like, okay. And Paisley was around this big. She hasn't grown. If anything, she's just gotten fatter. She hasn't, like, actually grown at all, but she was in a shoebox size cage. So, like, if you think of, like, I don't know, dress shoebox. I wish I had like a picture. I'll try to find a picture of the cage. It was a small ass cage. Like, I'm not gonna even lie to you. It was small. It was crazy. And it was so small, and her wheel was like this big, that big in diameter. And, oh, come here. And I'm gonna put her back. Now let's just hope she doesn't barge you. And I was just, okay. And so, you know, I was just like, wow. And Paisley was running on this wheel that was like this big. Her back was just straight up bent, and I was like, okay, let me try to get her out of the cage. I couldn't like stick my hand through the door because the door was so small, and so she just like took off the top of the cage. Paisley started running everywhere. It was crazy. This little scared hamster was just like running everywhere. So I quickly scooped her up, put her in the box I brought, and then I was like, thank you, blah, 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 and I left. And, yeah, that family is, I like the girl quite a bit. I do. I really do like her. I think she's sweet. And I wasn't mad at her at all. Like, I hope it doesn't seem like that way. It's not her fault that her hamster was in those conditions because she was given it. She didn't want it. She didn't know anything about it. So, you know, you can't blame someone or hate someone for not knowing anything about an animal they were just randomly given to, you know? So, you know, a little bit after that, real quick, I learned that the girl really is mad at me and kind of like upset with me that I kind of mentioned her cage was kind of small, and I didn't even mention it in a rude way. So I am kind of like, oh no, that she's mad, or she was mad. I bet you she's not mad now, but at the time I was like, well, shit, because my one friend was like, yeah, she's been like talking about you and like saying how mad she is, and I was like, oh crap, I didn't mean to say it in a rude way. I meant to say it in kind of like a, oh, you know, like I have a bigger cage, that cage is kind of small kind of way. And so I took Paisley home, and I kept her in a bin. I have bin cages, and it was over 500 square inches. It was a lot bigger than her previous one, and whenever I brought her home, I went to put her in it by picking her up. I have never heard a hamster scream before. Not once in my life. And she screamed at me, and it was one of the scariest things I've ever had to hear. I was like, oh my god, it sounds like an angry pig. It scared me so much to hear this little tiny creature scream. And, you know, she was like freaking out, and I felt so bad, so I quickly put her in there, and I let her relax. She was fine. And then a little bit later, my brother tried to like put his hand in the cage. This was a while later. This was maybe like a week later. And then, you know, she screamed at him, and she's definitely a very nervous hamster. A very nervous hamster. She has screamed at me once recently. I think it was a couple weeks ago, just a little bit. It was like, meow. It was weird. Like, hamsters and screaming is one of the weirdest things ever. And so, yeah. A little bit more about Paisley. Sorry, my neck. She bar chews quite a bit. She's a very sweet hamster. I can touch her, I can pick her up, I can do whatever, but she bar chews all the time. And that's why she's in this now, and that is why she does not have a lot of bedding. So don't come for me in that aspect. Do not take a fit because she doesn't have a lot of bedding. The reason why is because I had I had this half up to like here in bedding, or here. It was a lot, and like she burrowed a little bit, but not a lot. But then she started going up and chewing the edges of there's like plastic rimming on here because this is an aquarium, and she started hanging onto it and chewing it. And I would much rather her not be able to burrow and not ingest plastic than her be able to burrow and her ingest plastic, especially because she's not really into burrowing. She still tries to like Spider-Man her way up and chew on things, and I try to like give her enrichment and take her out, but right now it's really hard for me to take her out because she escapes every single playpen, and I want to hamster proof my room, but my room is such a cluster of things that I can't. But I am getting a new bedroom, so I am hoping that the new bedroom will allow for me to let her run around wherever she wants and let her do huge floor time, because she definitely does need that. It's just constantly needing more space, and I also am thinking about upgrading this space because this is like a good size enclosure in America's standards, but I don't know, I feel like she would definitely benefit from more space, because her being her. So yeah, she is a very sweet hamster. I'm very glad to have adopted her. We'll try to include lots of clips of her. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about her. She is a little bit of work just due to her chewing and just due to her nervousness sometimes, but it's fine because other than that, I can pick her up whenever I want, and she's pretty fine with that. She comes out a lot during the day, which is something I'm not used to with hamster. Because my brother's previous hamster, Brutus, slept all day, came out at night, and also didn't bar chew and didn't have problems with sizing, which I think shows the difference in personalities between hamsters. Whereas she comes out throughout the day, and she wants attention throughout the day, and she's like, hey, I'm awake, come hang out with me. She comes out and eats, she runs on her wheel a little bit. She comes out a lot for a hamster. And like whenever she was in the bin cage had like a black top, and she would come out pretty much all day, and I think it was because of the black top. Maybe she was confused as to what night and day was, but she would chew a lot at night, which is again why I put her in here. But yeah, she takes her treats really well. She does like whimsy chews. I feed her these a lot. I do give her lots of like little things like this. This one's a mess, but I am going to be giving her this one. She loves to chew wood, especially popsicle wood. Clearly, she's torn this thing apart. She is very good with chewing on her chews. She tears almost all of them apart. I did put some peanut butter on some of them just to encourage her to chew some more wood ones, and that did definitely help, because I was trying to also encourage her not to chew on like the bars whenever she was in there. Another thing she has done is she's taken apart her wheel. There's a little knob and it can unscrew so you can clean it better. Well, she's taken that knob, the little yellow knob, and chewed it up real nice. So I might be changing her wheel into like aren't they called, no, what are they called? I don't know, they're really popular. It's like a bucket and they have like piping for the base. So yeah, that's kind of like a little bit about her. I do again want to upgrade her sizing, maybe to like an IKEA Detolf. The only problem is figuring out a good top for her, and I'm worried that she'll chew on like some of the metal bars in that. I don't want to have to deal with bar chewing anymore. I want her to be able to not do that, and I think it's just a habit that she has from maybe the small enclosure that she was in. You know, I know that that is a thing that can happen, just them doing it excessively because it's like rooted into their brains. So I'm thinking that might be it. But, you know, it's not her fault, but I would like to prevent that because it's not good for their teeth. So, you know, yeah. So yeah, that's Miss Paisley. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like, subscribe. If you didn't, then goodbye.